Yeah, it goes, everybody, because they will continue on with a game called Sweetest Monster. Where were we? Yeah, here we are. Oh well, what can you do? If I can't be scolded properly in the manner to which I'm accustomed, at least I can be praised. She's about to play the piano, right? Whoa, whoa, whoa. And with that, Belle gets to her feet and begins to peer inside the piano, at its exposed innards, as it were. I wonder if the piano were a living, breathing creature, where it would find this monthly tuning exercise of being opened up and invaded by unfamiliar fingers deeply embarrassing. What on earth am I thinking? This must be because of Belle. Maybe I should censor this just in case, since YouTube is sensitive about these things. I should stop this. I need to stop. But that's easier said than done, especially given Belle is leaning over the piano, her short skirt displaying a generous, some might say over-generous, amount of her behind. When she shifts, pressing her pale fingers against the strings, I see her underwear in stark detail. Is she doing this on purpose? Didn't she just admit that, yeah, she was seducing us from previous night? Never knew tuning a piano could be so interesting. I used to find the job incredibly dull. Oh, great. The subtle bulge of her thighs, constrained by her socks, looks even more appalling like this. It's almost as though she's inviting wandering fingers. God damn it, how do I do this? How do I censor this? Maybe she is. It can be no coincidence that she keeps turning over her shoulder to shoot me glances, blinking from beneath her long, smoky lashes. I take a step backwards. Why am I still looking? I should stop looking. She's only tuning a piano. For Christ's sake, you couldn't make a decent porno out of that, could you? But Belle's trying. She's trying her best, and it's goddamn working too. Fuck. I need to say something. The atmosphere is becoming unbearable. Not even the sound of the kids playing outside, little monsters, all of them, can alleviate the pounding in my head, the twitching of my fingertips. So, you know how to tune the piano too? Of course, I am a spirit of many talents. And where did you pick that one up? Well, who knows? It's a secret. Like your age? Indeed, a lady never tells. For all you know, I could have been Marie Antoinette in a past life, eating cake and drinking tea. Whilst the rest of France slowly starved to death, right? But of course, I've always been selfish, ever since I was born. When I find something I like, I detest the thought of sharing it with anyone. Belle looks at me, her eyes narrowed. Her eyes seem harsher under the sunlight somehow, more menacing than they were last night. I swallow. I'm not so dense that I can't realize that was a threat. I'd better not bring back home to meet Sally and Melly then. Not that I was planning on it. Can you imagine how awkward that would be? Hey there, Sally, Melly. I want to introduce you to somebody very special. This is Belle, my great aunt Clarice's cat, whom I attempted to save from drowning when I was only 6 and has now returned to thank me for the favor with her body. Please don't be alarmed. Don't be too alarmed. Like that would go down well. Sally's eyes would probably widen so much they'd roll right out of her head. And as for Melly, I'm not sure how Melly would react. I never am these days. I shake my head. This is a waste of time. Forget it. It's not going to happen anyway. Oh crap, here we go again. You were never Marie Antoinette. I doubt the Queen of France would ever have to tune her own piano. Indeed, I never did. Not when I was Marie Antoinette, at least. You should thank me for degrading myself in such a manner for your sake, Robin. I glance back at her legs, her thighs, and her underwear. I think you're degrading yourself in a number of other ways. It's meant to be a skirt, not a belt. And now you sound like a concerned father. That's because I am a father. I'd never let Melly go out dressed like this. You say that, but I wonder. Parents don't know their children as well as they like to think. You're not all that close to Melly, are you? Ah. I blink. I was just playing around, I think, but Belle's words have stopped me. frozen in place like a figure in a photograph. What does she know about melody? All right, there we go. All done. Belle sets down the wooden piano, once again hiding the delicate assembly of strings within. I raise an eyebrow. That was awfully fast. Oh, are you doubting the quality of my handiwork, my good sir? I who was once the crowned queen of France? I must admit I am a little dubious. If you really can't tune a piano as fast as you claim you can, I'll be out of the job. Well, that's just how it goes in the cutthroat world of work. They always want newer people, younger people, people with bright eyes and fast fingers who work harder for less pay and don't truly understand their rights. I sigh. Belle's right. I've noticed an alarming trend lately which has been sweeping through the school these past few years. A number of the teachers, good teachers, men and women I was on friendly, small talk terms with, are being laid off. First it was Mrs. Long, then Mr. Garland, then Mr. Potts. It can't be any coincidence that these men and women were all in their mid-50s or even older. The people hired to replace them, meanwhile, were so young they could only have been a few years older than Melly, fresh from finishing their PGCEs. It's a wonder the kids listen to them too at all. They're not much more than kids themselves. This school doesn't feel like a school to me, not anymore. It's more like a nursery. I go into the staff room to escape being pawed and mauled by the children, not confronted with even more of them. I have no doubts in a handful of years I'll be laid off too, replaced with some trendy young boy or girl who insists upon being called by their first name and likes listening to, Skrillex and can't even read sheet music. You have a point, but I'd rather not talk about it. It's depressing. I see. The looming prospect of unemployment is always a toughie, huh? Especially when you have a wife and daughter. They don't make things easy, do they? It's no wonder you resent them, especially when you're trying so hard but they never seem to realize. I wince, my head pounds. She's right again. It's almost as though she can see right through me, peering inside the recesses of my skull and pulling on all the different wires within. I'm suddenly struck by a frightening thought. What if she knows me even better than I know myself? That's just humans for you though, huh? Ungrateful through and through. You get too old and you get tossed aside like a ratty cardigan. Sure, they'll hand out the usual platitudes. I'm so sorry to let you go. You're an invaluable asset to our team. But they don't mean it. It means nothing, especially if they hang you out to dry like that. People always say things they don't mean. It's just manners, and manners don't cost a penny. I can't stand niceness for the sake of niceness. It's so... how do you pronounce that? Tawdry? I don't know. Tawdry? I don't know. I feel my fingers clenching into fists at my sides. I'm trembling. I wish I wasn't. Maybe Belle can sense my feet. I already said I don't want to talk about it. Belle exhales, running a hand through her short hair. Suit yourself. I guess being a queen in a past life, I can't understand your petty pedestrian worries. They're unsuited to a noble figure such as I. Now, would the noble figure really wear a skirt that short? People would faint if they saw so much as an exposed ankle back in the heyday of Madame Antoinette. And that's precisely why I want to dress like this. Experimenting with new fashion trends is exciting. A schoolgirl uniform is hardly a fashion trend. I pause, pondering. And Marie Antoinette was also made redundant, wasn't she? In the worst way possible. Indeed, but I was dignified to the last. I did not scream or cry, not even when my head was on the chopping block. That would have been far too unladylike. Well, color me impressed. I don't think I would be able to handle being executed with such good sportsmanship. It takes practice, years of training. Don't worry, Robin. I'm sure you'll get there. I'd rather not. If it's all the same to you, I quite like my head being attached to my neck. I quite like your head too. You're cute. I'm not sure about that. We exchange brief glances and then we both start to laugh. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because the situation is so ridiculous. Two of us holed up inside the music classroom like fugitives, hiding from the rest of the world. Right now, I could almost believe Belle is my whole world. Almost. If it weren't for the sound of the children playing outside, that is. So, Robin, aren't you curious? Do you want to see what a good job I did? About the piano, you mean? That's right. Why don't we play together? That might be nice. It's been a while since I played with anybody else. Even though you teach piano? Even so, mostly I just sit and listen to my students. I don't get a chance to play very much myself. Didn't you ever try to teach Melody? I did for a brief amount of time, but Melody didn't like it. She wasn't built for it. You mean she has stubby little fingers? She wasn't physically unsuited. It was more mentally, I suppose. She didn't have the knack. No staying power. It's sad. I really did want Melody to learn how to play the piano. It wasn't just some passing whim. It was my dream. Maybe it was because of grandfather. He was the one who taught me how to play the piano all those years ago, back when I was 5. He was a patient tutor who offered me words of encouragement, and at the end of each lesson, he'd give me a fruit gum as a reward. I never saw playing the piano as a burden, though I'm sure lots of children made to learn instruments do. It was fun. I thought it was. I look forward to every single lesson, and I especially enjoyed it when grandfather would play alongside me. I thought those duets were played together were beautiful. They were a way for the two of us to communicate on a level deeper than words. I guess that's why I wanted to teach music. Like most people experience something unforgettable in their youth, I wanted nothing more than to share my feelings with others. I wanted to share it with my daughter, my Melody. But it didn't work out like that. I don't have grandfather's patience, and Melly had no desire to learn. She hated the piano and would always complain when it was time for her lessons. Not like Belle. Belle sits on the edge of the stool, leaving enough space for me to join her, with an expectant look on her face. She wants me to play with her. Somebody actually wants me to play with them. Now, when was the last time that happened? I haven't felt wanted like this for years. Alright then, let's see what you can do. I roll up my sleeves, an unabashed smile tugging at my lips. It's the kind of smile that's impossible to suppress, just like laughter that threatens to erupt at inopportune moments. I take a seat by Belle on the stool, facing the scratched old Steinway. The stool is small, and I can feel Belle's pressed against mine. For all her talk about being a spirit, her body's warm and inviting, reassuringly human. What do you want to play? I like Debussy. La Petite Suite is one of my favorites. You do know that song, right? Of course I know it. I've been playing the piano for more than 30 years. Please have some faith in me. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you were such an old man. Not as old as you. Touché. You primary school teachers nowadays, you have such sharp tongues. I suppose that's to make up for the fact you can't legally hit anyone, right? As if I want to hit anyone. I'm not violent. What a shame. I like a man who can take charge. Speaking of taking charge, are you sure you'll be able to keep up? You were a cat for an awfully long time. I know, but cats are very graceful creatures. I was a virtuoso even in my feline form. I have vague memories of Belle clambering over the piano at Great Aunt Clarice's home, her paws pressing against the black and white keys in a cacophony of noise. I laugh. Well, maybe you have a point. You look a lot cuter when you smile like that. You don't smile nearly enough, Robin. I haven't had much to smile about recently. To tell you the truth, it feels a little bit strange. Maybe I've fractured the muscles around my mouth. Well, I'm sorry if smiling is painful for you, but I won't let you off the hook. Not now we've begun. I'm going to make you smile much, much more. Oh, will you? Will you? When she says it like that, it sounds like a challenge, and I don't like backing down from challenges. Belle giggles coyly as the last note fades into silence, pausing to brush a strand of hair behind her ear. La Petite Suite. Should be a tad longer than our abridged version, but we don't have enough time. Lunch break will be ending soon, and then my classroom will be assailed by children again, with their sticky fingers and gaping mouths. For a few moments, I almost managed to believe Belle and I were the only ones left on the planet. For a few moments, that's truly what I wanted. But we all have to return back to reality someday. I think between you and me, we made a right mess of that. Well, it's been a while since I played anything that complicated. And it's been a while since I had fingers. I apologize for being clumsy. It's fine. Even if you weren't clumsy, it was very passionate. Thank you. I'm always passionate in everything that I do. I can't understand humans who aren't, who drift through life like jellyfish, pale and gray, even though their lives are so much shorter than mine. Like the bussy. Yeah, like the Debussy. How do you pronounce it? Debussy or Debussy? I think it might be good he's dead, though. He'd be very upset if he butchered his song. Belle smiles, coiling a strand of dark hair around one finger. Well, I would love to stay and chat, but I should probably be going now. I glanced at Belle's impractical school uniform, a small smile on my face. I take it you have classes you need to attend. Of course, I'd love to hang around with my favorite teacher a little longer, but this girl is on a tight schedule. Playing the piano really wore me out. It did. All you had to do was move your fingers. I am aware, but I'm still not used to maintaining this form. I think I need a nap. You're sleepy at lunchtime? You really are like a cat. I was a cat until a few days ago. Now this cute kitty needs to recharge. Chew. I think I'm a little more prepared for her outward shows of affection today. She leans forward on the stool, not that she needs to, given how close we already are, and presses a kiss against the tip of my nose, as light as a falling feather. But I still feel my face turning red. What is this anyway? I'm starting to feel like the schoolgirl here, and I'm not even in the appropriate outfit, thank God. This is gonna so mess us up. Belle gets to her feet and smiles, giving me a coquettish wave. Coquettish? How do you pronounce that? Bye, Mr. Hawkins. I'll see you again soon. Do you really have to leave through the window? It might look a little suspicious. Don't worry, nobody noticed me coming in here, so I'm sure nobody will notice me leaving. You're awfully confident. Of course I'm confident. I was royalty in my last life, remember? Of course. And, quicker than blinking, Belle slips through the window. I watch as she walks away, her dark hair fluttering around her shoulders. She disappears in less than a minute, as though she were never there at all. Oh, great. What time do you call this? That's the first thing Sally says when I return home. Not, hello, how was your day? Or, you look tired, why don't you sit down? But, so what time do you call this? Though it's phrased as a question, I have enough sense to realize Sally means it in a strictly rhetorical sense. She knows what time it is already. It says so on the clock on the kitchen wall, as plain as day. 6, give or take, given that clock is a few minutes fast. It isn't a curious inquiry, it's an outright accusation. Look, I'm sorry, Sal. I know it's a little later than usual, but I couldn't help it. I had a staff meeting. A staff meeting? That's right, I told you about it this morning, didn't I? Not that I recall, no. Are you sure I didn't? I could have sworn I did. It doesn't matter how much you swear. That doesn't change the fact that this meeting slipped your mind. Now, why is Sally making those little worm-shaped quotation marks with her fingers? I really was in a staff meeting. I didn't enjoy it one bit, and it was incredibly tedious, but that's what happened. What does she think I was doing? Does she really have that little faith in me? This is like the Great Milk Inquisition of Last Night all over again, and I'm in no hurry for a reprise of that. I'm sorry, Sally. I must have forgotten. I've been to so many of these damn meetings these last few weeks, it's hard to keep track of it all. And is that why you didn't look at your voicemail? Because you've been so damn busy. Voicemail? What are you talking about? I'm talking about Melly, Robin. She was sent home from school early today. I had to go and pick her up. Wait, what? I thought Sally was just complaining for the sake of complaining. What? As she is so wont to doing nowadays? What? I didn't expect there to be a real, valid point of criticism concealed amongst her words. Geez, I must sound like such a hypocrite. There I was complaining that Sally doesn't trust me, when I don't trust her either. My parents argued a lot too. Maybe that's where I learned all these tricks from. The bickering, the suspicion, the paranoia, the dislike. That's right. Melly hurt herself, Robin. She was acting distracted all day and kept falling asleep in class. Insomnia. That's what Melly has, apparently. Then in the middle of PE, she tripped and sprained her leg. She could barely walk. She had to go home. And a sprained leg too. Not to mention social anxiety, depression, and daily medication. But why don't we try to tackle this one hurdle at a time? That's what Joan Fowler, Melly's psychiatrist, though according to Joan, she isn't a psychiatrist, she's a child welfare expert, says. I'm sorry, I didn't check my voicemail then. I didn't think. No, you never do ya? Well, mobile phones are banned at our school. For the students, I mean, ever since Dylan Price pinched Phoebe Walker's iPhone, not that children even need iPhones anyway. What are they, 7, 8? What does that have to do with Melly? I just meant since the children aren't allowed to have phones at school, it'd set a pretty poor example if I had mine turned on all day. That may be the case, but you could have checked it when class ended. I know, I really am sorry, Sally. It totally slipped my mind. So, how is Melly? When did she have PE? You don't know your daughter's own timetable? I hardly know my own timetable, Sally. I had the shock of my life just this afternoon when, instead of class 2, year 6, I had class 3, year 1. I don't know why I even bothered to tune the piano, since those year 1 students can't carry a tune in a bucket. So you broke out the maracas again, did ya? I guess my better judgment, yeah. Give them things that make lots of noise and they'll be happy. A small smile quirks the corners of Sally's lips. It flickers there, uncertain, like a guttering flame. I think she's still annoyed at me, but the mental image she must have of me being overrun by screaming 5-year-olds is so entertaining she can't quite stop herself from smiling. Well, a small smile is better than no smile, I suppose. Melly had PE in the afternoon. It was her second to last lesson of the day. So she hasn't been back home for long? Not too long. She spent most of the time upstairs in her room. I think she's resting. You don't think Melly's sprained leg is anything life-threatening, do ya? I'm sure she'll be fine come the morning. She hasn't broken any bones. The school nurse said it was fatigue. Fatigue? Huh. I wonder what she's been doing to tire herself out so much. It's not like she ever leaves her room. Maybe homework. She's always been so anxious about her grades. She shouldn't worry so much. She's far smarter than I was when I was a kid. You should tell her that more often. It's probably because you don't praise her enough that she has such low self-esteem, especially given those disastrous piano lessons. Were they really that bad? You made her cry. I might have done, but that was years and years ago. She's probably forgotten by now. I think you're underestimating just how delicate Melly is. Maybe. I stretch. I feel slightly more at ease now I know my Melly isn't in any life-threatening danger. It was just a sprained leg, not even a broken bone. Do you think I should go and talk to her? Ask her if she's alright? I don't know if Melly's in the mood to talk to you right now. She's stressed enough as it is. So first you tell me I should pay more attention to my daughter, and now you say I should pay less? Man can't do both things at once, silly Sally. I know, it's just complicated. You're making it more complicated than it needs to be. I just want to talk to my daughter, not find a cure for cancer. Sally sighs. I just think if you really cared about Melly, you would have come back home earlier. It might seem a tad insincere. This again, I already told you, Sal. I was in a meeting. I can't do anything about that. I know that, Robin, but Melly might not. You never bothered to explain it to her. I pause, my mouth hanging open, my self-righteous indignation cut short. Sally might have a point. No, she has full point, dude. Given how rarely I speak to Melly, it's entirely probable that I never explained my circumstances to her before. Maybe this whole time, Melly was lying upstairs in her room, curled up in her bed, wondering where I was, thinking I didn't come because I didn't care, because I don't like her. But that isn't true. At least, I don't think it is. I can't deny that I find Melly hard work, but I do love her. She's my daughter. I know I haven't been as forthright with Melly as I should be, but I don't know where to begin. I don't want to worry her. She doesn't need to know how busy I've been at work, or that the headmistress keeps firing staff left, right, and center. I know how you feel, Robin, but Melly isn't a child. You should try to be more honest with her. But what good does honesty do? It just upsets people. But hiding things and playing mind games hurts far more. And sprained legs too, I'll take it. It did look rather swollen. Did you put ice on it? A pack of frozen peas. I think it's gone down now. Well, that's good. Yeah, that's good. I stand in the corner of the kitchen, running through my options through my mind like paper through a printer. Naturally, also like paper through a printer, my thoughts keep getting jammed and I have to pause to manually reload them again and again. Right, I think I'll see Melly later, after she's had a chance to rest up. Give her a couple of hours. I think I need some time to prepare myself. You need to prepare yourself to spend time with your daughter? Sure, all guys get anxious when they have to talk to pretty girls. Oh, you. Sally rolls her eyes, but at least she doesn't look annoyed. I forgot you were such a charmer. I laugh. I guess it's easy to forget. Marriage has domesticated me. A pause. You do think our marriage was a good thing, don't you? Of course, I wouldn't have agreed to it otherwise. We're just going through a rough patch. That's all. All couples have them. Oh, Sally. I sigh, suddenly overcome with emotion. Sally sounds like her old self again. Sally Pally when I was tugging at that ponytail she always tied her hair back in. Or Silly Sally when she said something ridiculous and I wanted to make her blush. She said we're going through a rough patch. She has no idea. Things might be rather more complicated than her cautious optimism leads her to believe. So there's a chance? Melly, hello Melly, are you awake? True to my words, a few hours have passed, and now I stand outside Melly's bedroom door. It's dark and the hallway's cloaked in shadow. It's kind of imposing. I feel like an unwanted intruder, an interloper, vampire-like. All I can do is wait for Melly's invitation to come inside. I could wait and wait and wait until hell itself freezes over, but I don't think that invitation is forthcoming. Melly doesn't reply. I rap again, my knuckles brushing against the wooden door. Melly? Melly's bedroom door is dark, mahogany, framed by plum-colored wallpaper. There's a small wooden plaque displayed on the door above the brass doorknob which reads, Elodie, in colorful letters. The M fell off a few years ago, leaving behind a strange, unfamiliar name. Still, despite my knocking, Melody doesn't answer. I'm not sure if she really is asleep at 7 in the evening, yeah, right, or if she's just ignoring me. Alright then, I'm coming in, excuse me. And with this small apology, I take hold of the brass knob and turn it. Uh-oh. Melly's door opens slowly, creaking with each and every inch. I think the hinges might be starting to go. I step inside Melody's private quarters, her inner sanctum, and shut the door behind me. I used to go into Melly's room all the time when she was younger to read picture books to her about Maisie the mouse and Connie the cat to help her nod off to sleep. But that was a long, long time ago. When was the last time I came in here? Maybe it was a few months ago. Maybe it was more. I don't remember. Melly's room is dark, the lights off and curtains drawn, but I can dimly make out shapes in the gloom. Melly's bookcase is stacked full of paperbacks, well thumbed through Philip Pullman's and J.K. Rowling's, and I can see familiar figures scattered across her desk, the droopy cotton ears of a plush Betsy Bear lolling next to a beaten-up old Connie cat who's missing one of her paws. Standing in this room almost feels like entering a time capsule, sealed off from the rest of time and space. I could be 9-10 years younger, and Melly could be my cute little girl again, still shy but not nearly as awkward. Maybe Melly loved me back then. I think I might have loved her more back then too. I could see a small lump curled up underneath the covers and long black hair fanning out across the blue bedspread, now deep navy in the darkness. Melly's back is turned towards me, so I can't see her face. I'm not sure if I'm happy about this or not. I wonder what kind of expression she's making. Do I really want to know? Melly? I approach her slowly, cautiously, as a convict might when approaching the gallows, as Marie Antoinette herself must have done more than 200 years ago. Melly, are you asleep? A stupid question to ask, of course. If she really is asleep, she can't possibly answer. And if she isn't, then she must be pretending, so won't reply to me anyway. As expected, she doesn't say anything. The silence stretches on. Look, I'm sorry for intruding, Melly. I won't stay for long. I think about taking a seat on her bed, by Melly's side, but I don't. After such a long time of silence between the pair of us, I don't think we're ready for such a big commitment. Even so, I feel restless. I fish Betsy Bear up from Melly's desk. For some reason, Connie Cat looks a little too intimidating for my liking. With her matted fur and missing paw, and turn her over in my hands, just to give myself something to do. I just thought I should come here because I wanted to say I'm sorry. Melly doesn't stir. I didn't expect her to either, so that's just fine. I'm not sorry that you hurt your leg, mind, because I know that was an unfortunate accident, and nobody's to blame for that. Least of all you, Melly. I know it wasn't your fault. That isn't easy to say that I'm not worried about you, because I am, but I know you're a tough girl and you'll get well soon. Sally said it was only a sprain. You didn't even break a bone. Isn't that good? More silence. I know I'm rambling, it's a bad habit of mine, but I can't stop myself. This silence is pervasive, creeping into the very interior of my skull like a thick smog, and I need to try and blot it out. Maybe if I can fill the room with the sound of my inane, inarticulate chatter, I can kid myself into thinking I'm having some kind of meaningful conversation with Melly. That this, whatever this is, might actually change something. Oops, you have to stop it here, fellas. I have to prepare for work. Oh man, we're apologizing to our daughter. I wonder how she's gonna answer to this. I wonder what's her reaction to all of this. So this is Sweetest Monster, god damn it. Censor stuff. Uncensored version will be on BitChute as always, so yeah. If you want to try the game for yourselves, the links are in the description. That is all for today. Stay safe and take care of yourselves.